guys got it? All right, hard work on three, sprint to the next spot. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Hard work.
Sprint to the next spot. Don't walk. Get there, get there, get there, get there.
In your previous stuff, have you always taken it down?
I did when I was at VCU. We took a team to London. My best player was from England, so I promised when I was one of our top recruits, when I recruited him, we'd get him back. And so we went to went over there, and then when I was at Oklahoma, we went to Vancouver. So it wasn't a trip like that, but we did that.
Lastly, you leaned heavily on a very young backcourt.
Yeah.
What's the advantage to having them with a full year under their belt going into this season?
Well, I think it's a big advantage because now they have reference points. When you're a freshman, you don't know. And with them especially, they didn't know because they didn't have an older person to teach them. It's different. When I was a freshman, I played a lot of minutes. I started, but I also had Grant Hill and Tony Lang, who had been a part of it and been really good, so they could teach me. These guys didn't have that. And so, I think they have a reference point now of what the conference is like. When you get to January, the middle of January, when most people, freshmen, are hitting the wall, they'll know how to hopefully push through more. They'll know how to prepare more. They'll know how to, the importance of rest, the importance of their bodies, what you eat, all these things. And then hopefully that equates to us being able to win some of those close games that we lost last year.
The ACC tournament, it seemed like you guys had a lot of momentum right then. Is there a carryover going into the summer and coming in?
I hope so. We won our last regular season game, and then we went out and we played very well in the first game of the ACC tournament, and then in the first half of the next game, and we ran out of gas. And so, I think one of the things that it did for our program, fan base or whatever, is that it gave hope. I think that's what last year did. We played hard, we competed. With the exception of 5 conference games, we were right there in every other game. If you go back and you look at them, at the under 8-minute timeout of the other 13 games, it's a 1 or 2 possession game either way. And so hopefully we're able to push over the edge this year and to be able to understand and learn how to win some of those games.
Duke point guards becoming
I don't know. I don't know if it's the responsibility that coach gives you. The leadership role that's there, being a point guard for him or being a guard for him. I was more of a scoring guard than a point guard. But I just think the leadership role that you have, the ownership that you have over the team, the program, I think it just for whatever reason translates. It's interesting you asked that question. I remember when I interviewed at Oklahoma, the AD asked me, and I was actually very offended by the question, but he said, a lot of former Duke coaches haven't been successful. Why do you think you'd be different? And you don't hear that anymore. So I think it shows the growth that we've all had. But I just think it's the responsibility that it gives you as a player as far as being a leader, playing for his program. I think that's maybe the reason why.
Early last season, you mentioned that you had to help your guys with the expectation of winning and not having those moral victories. Do you think that with the guys you got coming back, with the new guys, that that's going to be a lot different now that they've had a taste of a full season?
Yeah, I think so. Like when we were over in Italy, our first game, we're playing a team from the Netherlands, a pretty good team. And it was very close there for a little bit, and then at the end of the third quarter, they took a lead. I think they maybe went up 7 or 8 points, and we come to a timeout. And I wasn't coaching the games; my assistants were, and I was kind of sitting near the bench though. And I heard Xavier say, "Like, this isn't going to be like last year. This is not going to be like last year. We're changing this right now." And then we came out, and they did that. And so I think, again, they have a reference point. They understand a little bit better now than they did last year. And so I certainly think all those things will help.
What growth have you seen from them two over there, but as well as Tony and them?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of growth. Xavier last year was a kid that did not talk. And you see him now talking in practice, imploring guys, getting on guys, encouraging guys. That's something that didn't happen last year. The same thing with Trey. Trey last year, when he wasn't playing well, he'd hang his head. I think that's one of the reasons why he didn't play well. he couldn't move on to the next play. He felt like he was letting himself down, us down, and things like that. And so now he's able to move past that a little bit quicker right now. Certainly with Audis, those guys are stronger. Mentally, I think they understand this league better. They understand college basketball better. I think they're more prepared than they were last year, and I think they're better players.
Is there anyone in particular that you've seen make a big jump from last year to this year that surprised you?
You know, I think if you look at Terrell Brown, I think he is, if you look at his body, he's made a jump there. But I think mentally, I think he's made a jump. Last year, I think he wasn't sure if he was a good player. I think he wanted to be, but he wasn't sure. And he had moments last year where he was very good. The thing we've tried to challenge him with is, can you be that every day? And I think he's taken steps in order to try to do that. And I think he's done some really good things for us. I think physically he's better. I think mentally he's better. And I think he's put himself in a position to make a jump this year.
Obviously, Trey and Xavier are the leaders of your basketball team. Is there anyone else that could step into a leadership role?
Yeah, I think those two. I think Audis Tony. I think another freshman for us, the sophomore now that started all the games last year. And I think Terrell Brown. To me, I look at leadership as that it's not singular when it comes to players. I think it's a collective group, and I think the four guys that we have that played significant minutes for us last year, I think those four guys should handle the responsibility of leadership. I think they understand us, they understand our program, the standards, you know, and how we do things. And it's important for them in that locker room, away from us, to uphold those standards and to demand them. And I think all four of them have done a pretty good job of doing that.
Well, last year, you didn't like to talk about the past, partly because there was a lot of losing. Do you now look at some things that happened last year, bring those forward?
Yeah, some of them. You know, I didn't like talking about it last year because I wasn't a part of it, and none of us were a part of the past. You know, we're part of last year, and so we can certainly use some of those things that we experienced last year to help us, both the good and the bad. You know, we had some really good moments as well. And so the biggest thing for us is, can we make the jump and learn how to win those close games? Can we get a stop? Can we get one rebound? Can we make a free throw? Can we make an open shot? Can we not turn the ball over? Those things like that, and can we do them consistently throughout 40 minutes? Not an 8-minute stretch, not a half, you know, not until the under 8 timeout in the second half at the 32-minute mark. We have to be able to do it consistently for a whole game. And that's how you win. This league is hard. And so you have to earn the right to win, and hopefully we put ourselves in a position to earn that a little bit more this upcoming season.
Guys got it? So hard work on three, sprint to the next spot. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hard work. Sprint to the next spot. Don't walk. Get there, get there, get there, get there.